by introducing yourself.
My name's Dave Schmidt. I've been a faculty member in this department, in the Computing and Information Sciences department, since 1986, so I'm one of the older timers in the place. I was originally born and raised way out in western Kansas. I was born in Colby, which is pretty near the Colorado line, so I know what that part of the state looks like. And I grew up in Hayes, which is not that far away from Colby. And once I finally got my training, I wanted to have a position where I would be within shouting distance of my hometown, because I grew up in a large family and I still have lots of family and friends. So this is where I ended up settling, right here.
Okay, first we got this picture that we found that we would ask a little background information.
All right, yes. You in Cameraland. This is off my home webpage. And see, both my parents are dead and gone, sad to say. But I was going through their old photo albums, and this is a photo of me at 5 years old, which pretty much presents my attitude towards the world about them, and hasn't changed a whole lot. Like, what's going on and what are they doing to me? And that's my younger sister, who's currently a philosophy professor at William & Mary University in Virginia, and she seems pretty blasé about all of this stuff. I couldn't remember where and when this was taken, but my sister says it was Easter, approximately 1959. And I'm pretty sure my mom took the photo because that's her shadow against the car. So it's one of these memories that's in the back of my mind somewhere I'm still searching for. It's a lot more interesting than the usual head and shoulders photo, which is pretty much what you'd find if you come to somebody's door and knock. So that's where the photo comes from.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us. What courses do you teach here at K-State?
Over the past 25, 30 years, I've taught a variety of courses from the first year all the way up to doctoral level. In the last 10, 15 years, I've spent a lot more time doing the main undergraduate courses. They're actually the hardest to teach, because when you try to explain ideas to people who don't have a lot of background, you have to work really hard to make them simple and use ideas they already know about. With advanced courses, it's much easier just to go straight to the subject, and you can use a lot of shortcuts and ideas you're sure the students know about. So the courses I've been teaching, over the last 15 years, I taught the entry-level freshman course about 8 times. I've taught the course that follows that, which is a second semester, first-year course, about 6 times. About 10 times I've taught a second-year course on logic related to computers. And I should say the first-year courses are about understanding how to use computers to solve problems, to program, to make them act like humans, except they don't quite have hands and arms and legs yet, but that's coming. And also I'm recently doing some third-year courses and fourth-year courses, more advanced foreign majors. But pretty much along the main core, the main bread and butter topics in computer science. And I don't want to get more technical unless you want me to, but we'll just say it's the required stuff. So most of the students in this building, they get to know me when they do.
Well, as we're on topic, how you said that computers don't have arms and legs yet, where do you think they'll be within the future?
Well, this actually, you could tell these stories and scare a lot of people, but where I think they'll be is they're going to be everywhere, and even in your bodies, because there are experiments right now of these people at MIT, these crazy MIT students. They've been walking around with computer chips attached to their eyeglasses, and the chips got a little screen, and they tell them stuff while they're walking around. This is part of an experiment. They're going on to actually implanting chips inside people, and the speculation is that all of us, by all of us I mean human race people, in about 40, 50 years are going to have chips which will act as our auxiliary memories and our auxiliary intelligence, and they'll be talking to us. And you think it's bad with cell phones now, with people walking down the street mumbling to themselves. Wait till you got one implanted in your head. Okay, that's kind of a scary story, but the point is they're everywhere. You turn on, you get in your car and you turn the switch, and here's all these computers inside there. They're running the fan system, they're running stuff in the engine about the fuel, they're helping your steering wheel turn easier, they're controlling your radio. You don't even think about it. You get in an elevator and push a button, there's computers in there. And so they're going to get smaller, they're going to get everywhere. And unfortunately, I think humans are going to get a little too dependent on them. because like with me, I'm an old guy, and I've been wearing glasses since I was 8 years old, and I get so dependent on these things that I can't even get out of bed and go to the bathroom unless I can find my glasses, and that's really bad. And so we're going to have this struggle in the future when computers will end up everywhere. They'll be inside us, they'll be around us, they'll do so much stuff for us that if we don't work at staying smart, we're going to get really dumb. It's kind of a weird answer to what you asked, but that's what scares me the most. But the future is that they're just going to end up everywhere. They're going to do all this stuff.
So what are some of your research projects, and what do you do for research?
Oh boy, that's very difficult to explain to make people in Mr. Bean's course be happy about understanding what I'm doing. Because I have a real love, something called Scott-Strachey denotational semantics that I'm not going to try to explain here. So I'll explain the project that I'm supposedly working on right now that the government funds. Perhaps you've used the web to look at your bank account, or you used the web to order something, maybe on Amazon or eBay. Maybe you got lucky and everything worked fine. Or maybe you got unlucky and when you used the web page there was some error in it. And the next thing you hear, somebody got a hold of the credit card number you used. Because the program which displayed the web page that you typed your credit card number or bank account number into didn't work quite right. And that error caused something to leak out on the internet. And the internet's like an old-fashioned telephone line, a party line where anybody can pick up and tap in. There are a lot of computer programs that generate these web scripts that people use for doing finances and ordering, and they got errors in them that allow thieves to sneak in and steal stuff and look at stuff. So currently I'm using some techniques based on mathematical logic to analyze programs that while they're running generate other programs that generate web pages that you use for transactions like financial transactions. And we try to go back and say the original programs are never going to generate something that appears on a web script that's got a hole or it's faulty. That's really, really hard. You can't guarantee that in general. But if you can spot lots of simple mistakes, dumb mistakes that people regularly make, it's a big step forward. So that's the kind of thing I look at, using analysis techniques to kind of predict or to analyze the structure of computer programs that do stuff on the web to ensure they don't do something stupid or allow something. And I can't go much further than that to say why that has anything to do with Scott-Strachey denotational semantics, but it does. This is just some specialized thing. Because deep down inside, I love doing logic and mathematics. I got into this area because I love mathematics, and my math professor said, well, with a math degree, you can either teach high school students or you can go to work in Oklahoma with geologists and tell them where to drill for oil. And I thought both options were stupid. And so I heard about computers and decided I need to do something where I don't have to work with a geologist or a high school student. And it turned out there was this area of computer science where you use mathematics and logic to really analyze how programs are written and treat them as mathematical objects and do the same kind of work on them that a number theorist does with number systems and algorithms over the math way. So this was perfect for me. It's kind of a, it's as much math as it is doing programming. So that's
Do
what
you
I
have
do.
any recommendations for students at all, or some advice?
I think you probably heard it from all this other, all my earlier mouthings off. My supervisor did give me a couple of mottos for life, and I remember this because when we're all like about 19, 20, 25, we don't quite know what's going on. The world's happening to us, and we're doing our best we can. And so he used to look at me and he would say, Dave, there are a couple of rules in life. Number one is be true to yourself, and number two, don't sweat the small stuff. And I remember that because those rules work really well no matter where you end up and what you do with your life. Be true to yourself, it basically means do what you want to do, what you're happy with. You know, don't go against the grain about who you are. There's something you're meant to do in this world. And the second one is the world's got a lot of distractions, and we can get really upset about little stuff. And 5 years from now, what you're worried about today probably doesn't matter at all. So, you know, if you're gonna worry, if you're gonna put in time on stuff, make certain it's important stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. So that would be my advice. That's what my advisor told me, and I think he was just dead right. So, there you go.
Well, thank you for talking to us.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming by. I didn't realize that we were gonna go all over the map with these topics, but that's probably better than talking too much about just Mr. Bean stuff. Yeah, okay.